Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the 2018 science fiction movie Fifth Passenger. A movie that basically is another one of those remakes of Lifeboat, the 1940s movie where I think it's like 5 people on a lifeboat after their ship has sunk, and there might be somebody on the lifeboat who may not be who they claim to be, sort of thing. And that film has been remade many times, generally in the science fiction genre. And this sort of film has been made a few times before. Generally low budget type affairs, and this is no different. What makes this one a little bit unique is the fact that it's almost like a get together for ex-Star Trek actors. So you've got Marina Sitris, who was from Star Trek The Next Generation. You've got Armin Shimmerman, who was Deep Space Nine, I believe, and Tim Russ, who was in Voyager. And you also have an appearance from Doug Jones here, although don't get too excited. He's on screen for me literally 2-3 minutes tops, right at the beginning of the movie. And this movie basically focuses on, it's a science fiction film. It focuses on this crew on a ship, and there seems to be some divide. There's citizens and non-citizens, and non-citizens basically treated like dirt. But there's a ship, there is an accident, an explosion, and everybody on this ship has to go to these escape pods, life pods, and they only hold 4 people, and one escapes with 5 people on, and this is the one that the film focuses on, and it includes the actors that I mentioned and a couple, 2 or 3 that you won't have heard of really. So they get blasted off course, the pod malfunctions, they're running out of air, they're running out of options, it's full of people with rising tensions, citizens and non-citizens, so you have that divide as well. And then they think they're saved, they find this other pod that they think they can repair their own pod with. They go across and unwittingly let some beastie alien creature onto their ship that, you know what's happening after this point in the movie. And that's your film, basically. So it's a combination of Lifeboat and many hundreds of other sci-fi films out there, like Alien, things like that. There is nothing original about this movie in any way, shape or form. And I have to say, guys, it's not really a very good movie, this. I have to say, I did struggle to finish this movie because it was terribly uninteresting, and it just wasn't fun to watch. I found myself zoning out. But that's not to say that I think it's a terrible film. I've seen much worse. The effects on display here are passable for a movie like this. The creature design is pretty comical, I have to say. There's nothing impressive there. The acting on display here is, from the veteran TV actors, I would say, it's fine. From the lesser known actors, it's pretty bad in places. And I do have to say, the actress they got to play the lead role, let's see if I can find who it is. Morgan, let me just have a look. Morgan Larrier. I've not seen her in anything before. I thought at times she was okay, and then there were other times in this movie where she was terrible in regards to the acting. There's a scene near the end where it's like a crying scene, and she was really bad. It reminded me of that scene in Tropic Thunder, when they tried to get him crying at the beginning of the movie, and he couldn't do it, and he was being mocked by Robert Downey Jr. It was like that. It was really bad, the acting in that scene, and that was it. I mean, they had an opportunity here in this movie because not an awful lot happens for a good chunk of this movie, a huge chunk of this movie, and they had a good opportunity to give us a chance to get to know these characters and relate to them, and they don't do that at all. I mean, to be fair, there's not really anybody on this life pod that you give a monkeys about. You just don't care. They don't give you a reason to care. They're not particularly likeable, any of them. They all just seem really murky and seedy people. So it was a waste. The first half of the movie, you had nobody to root for in this movie. I didn't find, and the ending that they give you, while I did appreciate the twist they tried to give us at the ending, it just hammered that point home. The fact that they were seedy characters and horrible characters. And the message it gives at the end is, you know, if you're a bad one, you're alright, you can get away with it. And Marina Citrus's character, who is not part of the crew, she's kind of part of the rescue crew that finds this pod, and they're like, the film is patched together from like the memories of the surviving crew member. And when she discovers the outcome at the end, she makes a bizarre decision that no rational person, I don't think, would make. Why would she have done that? If it was a character that she had a connection to, I could understand it. If she was related to it, or if it was their, you know, family member, I could understand it. But no, I didn't get the ending, even though I did appreciate it was an interesting twist, I guess. It's one of those endings you'll probably either love or hate. So I'm fairly indifferent about this movie, guys. I have seen worse in regards to sci-fi. It's one that you can put on, watch, and you might like it a little bit more than me, or you might hate it more than me. It's bang in the middle for me, this one, guys. I'm just not really a big fan of it. It's pretty dull, uninspired, and the only thing going for it is if you're a Trekkie fan, you get to see some of your favourite Trekkie characters on screen again. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me, guys. And I've seen worse. There are some interesting moments. The endings are reasonably interesting, and the effects aren't awful, and there is some decent acting on display. But for me, it's a bit of a disappointment, this one, guys. One probably to avoid. So there you go, Fifth Passenger. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.